This is incredible. Greece. Hey there, good evening, how's it going? Today is Monday, May 5th, 2025, currently 65 degrees Fahrenheit, that is 18 degrees Celsius. I am back in Greece for the 17th time. I just flew in from Larnaca, Cyprus, direct flight to Athens airport, rented a car as I showed there for 35 euros, that is $40 per day, including all insurance and everything. And this is the Corinth Canal. Look at that. Just phenomenal, but it is really kind of a fiasco. So it connects the Ionian Sea of Western Greece and the Aegean Sea. There are no locks. You can see the Saronic Gulf out there. The idea of creating this canal was first conceived in the 7th century BC, 2,700 years ago. But it wasn't attempted until the 1st century AD by the Romans, who used Jewish prisoners of war to attempt to dig out the canal. That effort failed, and then it was abandoned for many centuries until the 19th century, when it was attempted again, and they succeeded and completed it in 1893. But it is too narrow for most modern ships, and so it is barely used and is basically just a tourist attraction now, and was never really utilized as much as they thought that it would be. But still quite an impressive feat. It is 4 miles long, heading west that way towards the setting sun. And so basically the Corinth Canal makes the Peloponnese peninsula of Greece an island, a very large island. So that is the Peloponnese Peninsula going that way, and that is mainland Greece, Athens, etc., going out that way. And so my epic Greek road trip has begun, which is going to mostly be on the Peloponnese Peninsula, but my first destination is not on the Peloponnese. It is an island. You will find out where I'm going in the course of this video. I rented the car there for 10 days, and so we'll see how long this road trip takes. I could even end up keeping it for longer. There is so much to see. I have explored the Peloponnese Peninsula before a couple of times, mostly on my first trip to Greece way back in 1990 when I was 18 years old, 35 years ago now. Then I came to Greece and spent a month all over Greece, including the Peloponnese peninsula, and so I'm going to plan to revisit some places that I went on that trip, which is really going to be a trip. And so I'm really looking forward to this adventure, but we got driving to do, so time to get back in the Fiat and keep on cruising. I just drove an hour from the airport, and it is another 3-hour drive to the island that I am shooting for. It is 7 p.m. so I don't know if I'm going to make it all the way there this evening. We shall see. I haven't booked accommodation anywhere yet, so let's do it. Epic Greek road trip begins now. Tripoli, Patra, ancient Corinthos. So here you can see it says 1920. Of course, that is 7:20 p.m. However, it turns out that is wrong, and it's actually 8:20, which I realize makes more sense considering when I landed in Athens. And so that means the likelihood of getting to the island I'm heading towards is less likely for this evening, but we shall just see how it goes. I'm feeling fine as far as driving for now. And so I wanted to mention that for those who wanted to see me go somewhere else, now first of all, this is going to be a really, really awesome road trip. There are so many incredible places to see on the Peloponnese Peninsula, including, for example, ancient Olympia, where the Olympics happened, the original Olympics thousands of years ago, and castle towns, epic beaches, great hiking, all kinds of things to see. Okay, I need to pay attention here. Nafplio, that is one city that I want to go to. Patra, so that is what I'm headed for. Patra or Patras, which is the ferry port where I arrived in 1990, coming by ferry from Corfu Island, Greece, which I had sailed to, so to speak, from Brindisi, Italy. So came down Italy, ferry to Corfu, Greece, spent a few days there, and then ferry to Patras, and then from Athens, then I caught a ferry to Santorini, but that's a whole other story. So ancient Corinthos, man, I'm really curious to see that, but that will have to wait for another time. Anyways, so for those who wanted to see me go somewhere else other than Greece, as I mentioned, I was considering other places, including Slovakia, but the problem is the weather. So here's the weather for where I was going to go in Slovakia right now. It is cold, looking rainy, all around very miserable weather. And then I was thinking of a few other places, for example, Slovenia. But here is the weather in Ljubljana, capital of Slovenia, also not looking very nice. And so then I was thinking about, well, how about Spain? I want to go to this city outside of Madrid, but the weather there wasn't looking great either. Here's the weather for Madrid, Spain. And so finally I decided, you know what? Considering the weather where I'm going here in Greece, and here it is, then Greece is looking pretty darn sweet. So I think that the plan will be to explore the Peloponnese Peninsula for whatever, 10 days, 2 weeks, something like that, and then catch a flight to elsewhere in Europe, and then come back and see more of Greece a little bit later, especially for the month of June, which is the ultimate month to be exploring Greece. So that is the plan. We shall see how it all goes, but for now, not much to show, especially as it gets dark here. I need to just cover some miles. I'm getting hungry, so we'll stop somewhere for dinner, and then tomorrow, really looking forward to the Greek island experience, even though the forecast shows it maybe being a little bit cloudy, rainy tomorrow, and then is nice and sunny after that. So let's cover some miles. Good morning. So it is Tuesday, May 6th, 2025, currently 74 degrees Fahrenheit. That is 23 degrees Celsius. This is Messolongi. That is the hotel where I stayed, Hotel Liberty. It did the job at a good price, 30 euros. But there doesn't seem to be a whole lot to see around here, and also the weather cloudy, and a few raindrops were coming down a minute ago. So let's just get out of here and keep on cruising. We got lots of really interesting looking stuff to see today. So let's hop in the rental car and cruise. I have about an hour and a half drive ahead of me, and we shall see if I make some stops along the way. So there's something going on here. Can't tell what. Local gathering, perhaps wedding, who knows. Okay, so I am getting used to driving on the right side of the road once again, even though that is the side of the road that I much prefer. But after renting a car in Cyprus just for a day, but now I'm just kind of all confused about it. Also,
then turn right.
This one is a stick shift, so in other words, I gotta put the camera away and drive. And it is now raining. Not exactly the weather that I came here for, but the forecast is looking great for tomorrow and the rest of the week. 1.7, wow. That is almost $8 a gallon. 1.7 euros per liter. Crazy. And that's where I'm going. A little hint there. And this is Vonitsa, which I wasn't planning to stop at until I saw from the freeway that. Looks like a castle on a hill. And also I'm getting hungry for some lunch, so let's see what we can find in this little town that is pretty close to Preveza, which is one of my main destinations for today. Another typical Greek town, but looks just a little bit more interesting than where I stayed last night. Fairly happening. So that was an expensive drive from the Athens International Airport. Not only because of $8 a gallon gas, but because of this. Tolls all along the way on that freeway. All of these were paid over the past, whatever, half a day since yesterday. This adds up to 38 and 40 euros, which is $43.45. Holy moly. So this is downtown Vonitsa. Let's see what we can find to munch on. And out there the sea. And then the castle, whatever, should be just up there. Warming up. Got the sandals on. And rolled up the pants for now. And boom, there it is. Look at that, castle walls, Greek flag flying. Let's take a look at the water here and see if there's some sort of a little restaurant by the sea. Here we go. Restaurant by the sea. A bunch of them. Not too busy. All right, now it is starting to feel like Greece. We got the sea, we got castle, boats, birds flying around. Whatever that is, some sort of little lookout thing, and sunshine, warming things up. All right, all right, all right. This is just the beginning. Looking forward to seeing Preveza. I think it is going to be a really pretty town by the sounds of it. But that is an impressive fort there. More restaurants along there. Let's walk down there, find a spot to grab something fairly quick, hopefully. That was a really delicious lunch there. And so here is the path to the castle. According to Google, it is actually closed right now. It says opening hours 1:11 to 31:3 or 1:4 to 31:10. So that is now 8 in the morning until 8 in the evening, apparently every day. So, not sure if Google is wrong or what, but let's walk up there and find out while I read some of the absolutely astounding history of the region. So, Vonitsa is built near the site of ancient Anactorium, an important city of Acarnania, founded by the Corinthians in 630 BC. So, very, very old history here. Like the other cities of Acarnania, it went into decline when the Romans founded Nicopolis. So Nicopolis is where I'm going next. That was my main destination first today. I just got distracted. Here, but on the other side of the Ambracian Gulf, so I guess that is that water right there, after the Battle of Actium. That was an important battle and forced its inhabitants to move to that city. So the Romans invaded and conquered Greece back BC, depending on the area of Greece, but they basically took over all of Greece and then forced the inhabitants of the ancient city here to move over to Nicopolis, which we will be seeing soon, as long as it's actually open today. Oh boy, this is getting a bit prickly, shall we say. And so modern Vonitsa was founded during the Byzantine era. Vonitsa was controlled by the Republic of Venice between 1684 and 1797. And so the fortress is a Venetian fortress. After the Greek War of Independence, the town became part of the Kingdom of Greece in 1832. On 18th October 1862, the insurrection that later spread to Athens and led to the overthrow of King Otto of Greece started in Vonitsa. And then the history of Nicopolis is really, really incredible. I'll give you a hint. Egypt. I was just there. You'll see what I mean. Quite an interesting walk. Hasn't been maintained in a while by the looks of it. Getting closer to the castle wall, so we'll find out right about here how much of the castle we can actually see. Okay, well, a good look at the walls, at least. I really hope it's open. Curious to see what's inside there. I'm sure it's the usual stuff, but Vonitsa Castle. Opening hours, summer daily, 8 in the morning. Ah, that's why. They didn't say this down to the bottom, but closed Tuesday and holidays. Ah, that's a shame. Though we can get a little, teeny tiny little bit of a look inside there. No huge deal. We're going to be seeing lots and lots of old Greek, Roman, Venetian, etc. ruins. All right, let's get on the road and head for Nicopolis. Now I'm wondering if it's going to be closed. I will try to figure that out before driving out there, but it is not very far north of Preveza, and so not too far out of the way. Summer visiting hours, April 1st to October 31st, 8 in the morning until 8 in the evening, same as the castle, and every Tuesday closed. Man, Tuesday is not a good day to be on a road trip in Greece, apparently, if you want to see the ancient sites. I don't remember that being the case other times, but maybe it's just this region or something. So, that is a shame. I guess I will just skip it and maybe go there on another day, because I plan to hang out in this area for a little while, in particular at an island, which we will end up at today. So this is Preveza. So far not looking too interesting, but it is supposed to have a very nice waterfront area. Let's go find it. All right, lost in the maze. So here you can see classic covered eating area, which if it was the high season, then it would be just jam-packed in here, I'm sure, middle of the afternoon. But now, very quiet, but really cute. I love these covered lanes, especially with the natural plants. Okay, is this the way? I'm very, very curious to see the marina area. The photos look really nice, very colorful. But this neighborhood is quite interesting as well. Kind of a combination of local feeling, but also with these nice restaurants. Maybe it's time to check my map. What a maze. Is this gonna go through? Looks like it, actually. Okay, well, let's avoid using the phone as long as we can. Church of Agios Athens. Right here. It is just so quiet, but you know, that is May. In a month, it will be a different story. Okay, not seeing the sea yet. Maybe I'm walking in the completely wrong direction. Let's check the phone. So it turned out I was going the exact opposite direction. I was trying to get to the water that way. The water is this way. So here, now it is looking nicer. Little market. Church. The buildings are more taken care of. And we really should be just a minute from the water. There it is. All right, all right, all right. The sea looking nice and calm. Not quite hot enough to want to jump in, but I can imagine doing it in the coming days as it gets a bit sunnier. Looking forward to a swim. Here we have some colorful chairs. And the marina. There we go. All right. Nice scene. But still not busy. Restaurant here not open yet. Chairs not out. But you can feel the feeling of summer being on the way. Okay, well, Preveza is definitely a sleepy little town right now. We have some young folks around. I wonder if school is out already or something, because quite a few young folks may be out for the afternoon. That makes sense. It is about 3 o'clock. It is tempting to stop at one of these restaurants, take a seat, have a drink, but I want to get the day's driving done. Get to my ultimate destination for today and for the next few days. I don't have a hotel booked yet there because I want to get there first, take a look, and decide how many days that I want to stay. But I think that it's going to be quite nice, and I will want to stay at least like 3 or 4 days. So let's go find the car. That could be a mission of its own after my winding, rambling, wandering through the maze. And then keep on cruising and go to one of the Greek islands. So here is a map of the town. Where are we? Somewhere along the marina here. Doesn't seem to say. And a few of the things to see in the area. So ancient Cassiope, I hadn't heard about that one. Not looking too spectacular, just a bunch of rocks basically. But look at Nicopolis, a very nice amphitheater. Monolithy beach, monument of Zalongo, very odd looking. I looked on the map and that is about 30 minutes drive away in the opposite direction from where I need to go, so not going to do that today. More of ancient Nicopolis. And then Preveza beach and another beach, Kiani Akti beach. Again, monolithy beach, looks very nice, and again ancient Nicopolis and Venetian clock tower. So on one hand I am quite bummed to not be able to go see Nicopolis today, especially because it is a lot more convenient to do it now than once I drive where I'm driving next, because that is in the opposite direction. But on the other hand, I'm kind of okay with it because I am exhausted. For one, because I woke up too early this morning and just didn't get enough sleep. But also, as many of you will know if you've been following the past week or so of videos, it has been an intense one. So, started in Kathmandu, Nepal, after spending 2 weeks in Nepal, caught a flight to India first, and then just a layover there, and then another flight the same day to Dubai. Spent 2 nights in Dubai, and then direct flight to Cairo, Egypt. Visited the Great Pyramids there, stayed only for 1 night, and then in the evening caught another flight to Cyprus, Larnaca on the Greek southern side, and spent 3 nights there, and then direct flight to Athens, as I talked about yesterday, and then drive yesterday evening, and then again driving today. So this was all to get to where I'm going, basically to do this road trip, although I didn't know exactly what I was going to do, but the plan was to get somewhere to slow down and stop moving so fast and changing countries every few days. That was all basically just a matter of getting here the best way, both for the price, the flights, and just to show you guys a few more places along the way, because I could have booked a flight from Nepal to Athens with, several flights along the way. There used to be a direct flight. In fact, I think that there still is, because I flew Nepal, Kathmandu to Athens back in 2016, but I wasn't finding that flight, or maybe it was only once a week or something, and it was expensive, something like that. And so I was going to have to break it up, and so I decided to break it up, and in the process make stops for a day or 2 or 3 here and there, rather than just doing the whole thing in a day or 2. Okay, I mentioned that I was a little concerned about finding my car. Oh man, this could be tricky. I need to get to that busy 2-lane street that I was on. Well, I'll figure it out eventually. Okay, this is weird. Church of Aios Athanasios. This is where I was before, when I was trying to find the water. I walked past here, thought that the water was that way, went right, and then eventually checked my map, figured out I needed to go that way, walked over that way, and then along the water, and then wrapped around, but I never saw the big 2-lane street that I'd been on before. I think I just realized that I was on that street twice. After I wrapped around, I came to a busy street and thought that it was a different street, but I think that that was the same street further down. And so it shouldn't be that hard to find that busy street, but I'm not hearing it at all. It should be very close. Oh man, I am definitely worn down. This is really not making sense because I can see ship's masts. Okay, I was here. Oh, okay. Boom. Now I can go backwards. This is just hilarious. I recognize that. Oh man, it is all kind of making sense now. So, after showing the covered restaurants, I came here, and then I was just turned around from the beginning, and so then I went on a whole thing that way, and then wrapped around. Meanwhile, when I arrived here the first time, the water was right there, 30 seconds away, and I went on a whole, 15-minute adventure out that way. So, that's what happens sometimes when you don't use your phone, and that's part of the fun. Nothing wrong with getting lost for 10 minutes. and discovering something that you wouldn't have found otherwise, but it is all quite comical. So down here is going to be the covered restaurants where people were eating. I don't want to film them again, but let's just confirm that yes. All right, this is the way for me to get back. Okay, now which way here? Yeah, pretty sure that I came in here from that way. Just hilarious. Or did I come from that way? Oh my god. I'm stuck in a dimensional time warp. There's the church again. What is going on? I guess it must be this way. Ay, 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 ay. This is the worst I have ever been lost, other than when I was out in the wilderness for hours off trail. So I'm not convinced that this is gonna be the right way. Did I see all this? I think so. I mean, there's only one way to go at this point. It has to be this way to that main street. Okay, I'm feeling hopeful that this is gonna get me back to my car. Do I recognize anything? Not really. I think I probably have to go that way. I still just don't quite understand how this street was like tucked away without me coming across it earlier with all that wandering around. Ay, ay, ay. And boom. There it is, the Fiat Panda and these statues. Okay, let's get out of this dimensional time warp before it sucks me in again. Go somewhere more peaceful. Look at that. Cleopatra's Canal. So this is not the best place to give a history lesson, but it is very relevant. I mentioned Egypt in relation to Nicopolis. Nicopolis, or Actia Nicopolis, was the capital city of the Roman province of Epirus Vetus. It is located near Preveza, Greece. The city was founded in 29 BC by Octavian, the Roman emperor, in commemoration of his victory in 31 BC over Antony and Cleopatra at the Battle of Actium nearby. So that is some incredible history there. The Egypt reference, of course, being to Cleopatra, Queen of Egypt, her lover, Mark Antony, and I don't remember the exact history of the Battle of Actium, but let's take a look at that. The Battle of Actium was a naval battle. Oh, that is the big one in the movie Cleopatra. Fought between Octavian's maritime fleet, led by Marcus Agrippa, and the combined fleets of both Mark Antony and Cleopatra. The battle took place on 2nd September 31 BC in the Ionian Sea, right out there. We are on it, near the former Roman colony of Actium, Greece, and was the climax of over a decade of rivalry between Octavian and Mark Antony. So that is Nicopolis, no minor historical site. All right, time to keep on going that way. So I have no idea what we're seeing up ahead there, but that is a big, old-looking castle-like building. Looks like we're going to drive right past it. Let's take a look and hope that it's not closed on Tuesdays. See if we can actually get into one of these old sites today. And path going up that hill. Interesting. That is a classic castle there. Castro, castle, cats. Hello. Meow. Okay, I am definitely not getting my hopes up based on how this day has gone and the fact that it is very, very quiet and abandoned looking. But we can get very close at least. Guess it's there. Huh. Maybe you have to go through that home or whatever that is there. Path continuing this way. Come on, be open. Ooh, that looks like the entrance. I am going to guess there's a locked door. Can't see it yet, can't see it yet, can't see it yet. Boom! Open door! Or is this just like some little room? No? Oh? Oh, here's the locked door, I bet. No! Open! Yes! I was making a point of lowering my expectations. Alright. Look at mission accomplished. We got into a castle today. Looks like this one is maybe just open all the time. Well, who knows, there was a gate there. Alright, so no informational signs. I guess I could have looked on my phone in advance, but I have no idea what this is called, how old it is. But this is definitely an old one. Classic, classic castle. Love it when they're just wide open. You can investigate as you choose. Definitely gotta watch out for snakes around here. And we should get some nice views. Let's see if we can see some Greek islands. We should be able to. Oh man, this is potentially snake-infested territory here. All right, here we go. The Ionian Sea. The site of the Battle of Actium, out there. Unreal. Watch the movie Cleopatra with Elizabeth Taylor if you aren't already familiar with it. That movie depicts the Battle of Actium, and it is an epic battle in the true sense of the word. And I am not sure yet. That might be where I'm going. I think it must be. It's got to be. Another castle there. I was wondering if maybe you could see... Ooh, I can see something out there I'm sure you can't see on video, but I will have to look at my map, but my best guess is Antipaxos, because Corfu is out there. Igoumenitsa, saw that on the signs on the freeway, is the ferry port for ferries going to Corfu Island, or Patras on the Peloponnese, which I mentioned as being where I got off the ferry when I was 18. You can also go more directly from Corfu to Igoumenitsa. And then south of Igoumenitsa and Corfu is Paxos and Antipaxos. Antipaxos is smaller and closer to here, but maybe there's some other island out there. Can't think of any other island that it could be, but I will check the map. And then I guess all of that is just mainland Greece. So many different mountain ranges. Wow. What a cool view from up on this old, falling apart, medieval, I guess, or older castle. Intense. Okay, let's keep on going that way. See if we can stop at that other castle and figure out if that's where I'm going, which I think that it must be. Man, I lucked out getting to the castle when I did, because now it is genuinely raining. So yes, what I was seeing out there is where I am going, and will stay tonight and for the next several days. And it looks like the little island that I was seeing was in fact Antipaxos there. That little teeny one is Antipaxos. That slightly bigger one is Paxos, and then there is the much larger island of Corfu, which was my very first Greek island. And it is Griva Castle, not so old. The castle was built in 1806 by Ali Pasha. The objective was to facilitate Ali's attack against the island of... And I'm not going to tell you that part because here we go. I'll tell you where I'm going when I get there. I will probably be skipping that other castle because of the rain. All right, almost there. This is actually quite a momentous event for me. So I mentioned that Corfu was my first Greek island. That was in 1990, 35 years ago. Actually, I'm not sure if I'm on the island yet. Maybe it's over this bridge. Let's get it right. So I came to Greece for the first time, summer of 1990. That would have been in June. Now here it is, May 2025. 35 years later, my 17th time to Greece. Okay, looking for somewhere to park this thing. Let's just do it right here. And there we go. I'm on it. Officially on the island of Lefkada, or Lefkas, my 60th Greek island. So I thought that I was going to surpass 60 Greek islands last year when I was traveling with my friend Sterling in the fall, and planned to go to both Kymilos Island next to Milos and Sikanos Island. I really hope that those buses are not going to try to go on this street. I will be watching them to see and jump in the car if so. And so we went to Milos, but then we couldn't get over to Kymilos because of high winds, and so the boats weren't running over there. And so we reserved one more night at our accommodation there on Milos Island to have one more possible day to maybe get over to Kymilos, but it still didn't happen because of the winds. And because of staying that extra day, good, it's going that way. Since we stayed one more day on Milos, then we lost time that we had because Sterling had a flight out of Santorini, and so we had to skip going to Sikanos, and so I was stuck at 59 ever since then. So it is a pretty amazing feeling to have been this lucky to have gone on this past 35 years journey to many Greek islands and beyond. Okay, let's move this car and go find my accommodation, which is in the middle of the town here somewhere. So car parked, just a few minutes walk away to where I'm staying, which looks pretty cute. I have an apartment to myself. Sun coming out while still raining, so spring weather, but this island is looking pretty sweet. So sweet. This island looks pretty sweet. So sweet. Awesome. Looks like this is the main pedestrian zone, and my room is very close to it. A little bit of a buzz of activity in the air, but a long ways from high season. But a great feeling in the main town here. Lots of restaurant options, cute little lanes. Okay, time to find where I'm staying. And I am in. Look at this super cute place. for 51 euros, $58 US. Nice double bed, kitchen, and little bathroom. Okay, I am absolutely wiped out. It is definitely time to take a break.